Hi, my name is Heather Scoville and I'm with elevaite365. One of the questions we get asked a lot is whether elevaite365 can automate business processes that span multiple Dynamics applications or external applications. The answer is yes, and I'm going to show you a simple example of how that works. First, I'm going to start in my D365 sales environment here. I have a test. I'm going to go to results so you can see that. I have a test called Win Opportunity that I created, and we won't watch the whole thing. But here I have a test that represents the end of a sales cycle. The test closes an opportunity as won, then opens the related account record. From that account down here, I'm capturing several pieces of information and storing them as variables. Things like customer name, address, phone number, organization number. The details we're going to need later in order to create a customer record in D365 Finance. Here's the test, as you can see. The important thing here is that these variables aren't just available within this test. They can be passed to the next application in the next test in the process. Now I'm going to switch over to D365 Finance. Here, I'm going to go to my library and go to D365 Finance and go to Results. And you're going to see this test called Create Customer from CRM Account. This is a completely separate test running against a different application. Instead of hard coding customer information, this test simply references the variables that were captured in the sales application. I'm going to kind of forward you along in this test so you can see it's created the name, and I'm going to take it where it's doing the address change. There we go. As this test run, it's using those values to create a brand new customer record in finance. So we've effectively carried customer information from CRM into finance without having to enter any data twice. So now let me show you how these two independent tests become one end-to-end business process. In Elevate, we do that using scenarios. I'm going to create a new scenario and simply add these two tests. There we go. I'm going to call it D365 account to D365 FO customer. And I do not want them to continue on failure. I'm going to hit create, and here it is at the top. I'm going to open this scenario. I'm going to simply add these two tests in sequence. The first test is the Dynamics 365 sales test. So I'm going to switch my application here to sales, go to sandbox, and I'm going to find my opportunity. Here. And so I've added that test. This is the test that closes an opportunity and captures that customer information. The second test is from Dynamics F&O. So I'm going to add test, switch to finance, go to my environment, and it's create customer from CRM test. This is the test that creates that customer that I just showed you. That's all there is to it. The scenario controls the execution order and automatically passes the variables from one test to the next. You can clearly see this is two different applications here. This is a simple example, but the same approach works for much larger business processes like sales to finance, customer service to finance, finance to supply chain, or any really combination of applications. You will create the test in their own environment. So if I go to library, all the finance tests will be in one. If I click here, all the sales. But the scenarios will bring those, is where you bring those together. So as long as data can be shared between the tests through variables, Elevate can automate and validate the complete end-to-end process.